Hello, people. My name is Kris. And I'm being weird right now because I'm in a good mood. I'm not here anymore. Sorry. It was a good day today. It was a nice day. So I gotta move my butt cushion. There you go. Okay. Oh, pop my nuts. Got pop them nuts. Oh yeah. Oh, that one hurt. Okay. Today, which is Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a video, a video request for MegT, new to the channel. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support from everybody. All the people around the world. UK in the house. You guys are watching videos. You should watch more. Tell, other countries around you. Like, write them letters. Sweden, you should do the same. Guam. I'm curious why you haven't reached out to anyone in Japan yet. I'm not blaming you, but it is your fault. To be honest, I should be big in all the countries by now. I have 73 videos out right now? This will be, well, by the time this one comes out, it'll be more. I have 70 plus, almost 80. I don't understand why I'm not rolling in the change. Pennies and nickels. Before I get started, I have to thank the YouTube community, the gathering that we had. It was 13 million of us, and we were reenacting the Headless Horseman run. And I gotta tell you, it was amazing. So what we did was, we would behead someone and stick them on a horse, and then light a pumpkin on fire and hit the horse on the tuchus and let them go. And there was a target that they had to throw at and hit to win. We lost 9 million YouTubers that day. Apparently, when you take the head off, it does not work the rest of the body. So, it was a sad day. But on the way to the parking lot, I saw little Petey and I beat him to death. So his parents were like, "Why'd you do that?" And I was like, "MegT told me." And they were like, "Oh, that's fair. Yeah, yeah." So I think they're going to go make a new one. So with that said, I got something in my eye. Oh, jeez. Video's ruined. Oh, the whole night's spurled. Oh, no. What are we going to do, folks? Let's just end the video. Oh. Okay, everything's okay. We're going to start the video now. This is the disturbing case of Dylan Redwine, or Dylan. We'll find out. This Mike, I can't speak his language. Apparently he's Irish, but I've heard Irish people. He's not Irish. And British people speak Spanish or Swahili. So I don't get the world and what they speak. So anyways, we're going to watch this video. Like and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, it's going to cut off right now. By the way, 24.8% of the people who are subscribed watch my videos. 75% don't. If you're watching my videos and you want to see these nips, maybe you should subscribe. You'll never see them because that's not how I roll. But you should subscribe anyways, because that way that number goes up and then I get monies. And I couldn't think of anything for you. But that button's free of charge until I start charging you to hit it. So you should hit it now, and we're going to watch some videos.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, what we're talking about is red wine. Probably should have called it brown wine. To Colorado we go, classic, to look at a story, a mystery really, that went on for years. You know, we all have like some pretty embarrassing photographs, ones we'd rather, you know, not be like tagged in or whatever. You know what I mean? This is that times 10. So you see, when somebody saw pictures of Mark that he really didn't want anybody else to see, you know, when they had a goo at, well, it rhymes with goo. This is probably the one video where let's give it a goo is a poor choice of words. But let's. So it is to Colorado we go. That place has been on the radar quite a lot lately. Citizens must be getting a little bit jelly of the big dogs. We are going to a little place called Durango. Durango is located at the southern end of Colorado, a city made up of about 16,000 people. It's kind of located in the southern foothills of the Rockies. You keep going up, you're in ski country. You go down, you're in Navajo Nation. In Durango, there lived a lot of families. And now, I will go through them alphabetically. Or let's just skip to the or. Redwine. I love it, but you know it's a family name too. Made up of Mark, Elaine, Corey, and Dylan. Mark and Elaine had been married since 1989. Happily, yeah, sure, why not? Living in Durango. Over the course of their 18-year marriage, Mark and Elaine would have 2 boys together. Corey, born in 1992, and the younger Dylan, born in February 1999. The family were happy out living in southern Colorado. Durango looks like a beautiful city, and so Daddy Mark, who had been married once before and had a son from that marriage, well, when he wasn't working away at his job as a foreman with United Pipeline, he was spending it with his beloved wife and 2 sons. And he would spend it until the year 2007 rolled around. Elaine, she regained her maiden name of Hatfield and divorced Mark. And that divorce, swimmingly, it did not go. Let me tell you that much. It was acrimonious as shit. Mark, he wanted it to be as ugly as possible. You know, he did not want it. If he was going to be unhappy, you sure as shit would be too. It ended with Elaine getting full custody of her 2 sons. From there, Elaine, Corey, and Dylan moved about 300 miles away to Colorado Springs. The divorce. Well, any relationship Mark had with Elaine was now in the toilet. It's now in the crapper. Also in the crapper was the thing he loved most. His relationship with his kids, of course.
Did I just hear a fart? I swear I heard a fart. Sorry.
It's now in the crapper. Also in the crapper was the thing he loved most. His relationship with his kids, of course.
Did anybody else hear that?
Corey and Dylan, their relationship with their dad became strained too, and although Mark had visitation rights, he didn't really give 2 shits about them. Although they still had friends back in their hometown, they didn't spend a huge amount of time back there. Less and less. And when, in 2010, they saw a side of Mark they had rarely seen before, a pretty angry and violent one after witnessing a fight with their parents, well, going back to Durango was not really very high on their to-do lists, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This would lead to more illegal shite, and Dylan, still a minor, would be spending court-ordered visits with his dad. One of these was due for...
That's gotta suck. Court-ordered visits. You don't want to be around him, but you have to. Oh.
Thanksgiving 2012. Now, Dylan didn't want to go. His older brother, Corey, was 20 years old at this point, so he got off scot-free. Just be Dylan going by himself with his dad. Dad, bit of a dick. The relationship was shite. His dad was a turd. And, it wasn't exactly like, here, we'll play football, go fishing, talk about chicks, whatever. It wasn't like that at all. Dylan was kind of scared of him, did not want to be alone with him. And when he wanted to see if he could crash with his friends instead of staying with his dad poo-pooed that idea. It was on the 18th of November that 13-year-old Dylan Redwine hopped on a plane and flew from Colorado Springs to Durango La Plata Airport. Mark picked up Dylan at the airport and off they went, with Dylan being caught on CCTV at a local Walmart. And then, he vanished. It was late in the afternoon of the 19th of November 2012, about 5:30, that Elaine, 300 miles away, filed a police report, a missing persons report. Dylan had disappeared. The police, they were immediately out in force, and the story at the time went a little something like this. That morning, the 19th, at about 7:30 a.m, Mark, he had to pop out, do a few bits and bobs, down to shops, whatever. When he left, Dylan was sleeping on the couch. He came back a couple of hours later. Dylan was gone. He assumed he had popped out for a walk, maybe gone to see his mates, whatever. He eventually started ringing around, and nobody had seen hide nor hair of him. He started texting Elaine, and she was, immediately unhappy, who then called the cops. The investigation then began. Now, Mark's first thought was that he's ran off. He'll be back when he's hungry in like a couple of hours. He'll come back bawling, and it'll be fine. Elaine didn't think it would be that. He wouldn't run away, and if he did, he would call her. Straight away. There was something else going on here.
Tonight, the disappearance of a Colorado 13-year-old remains a mystery. The search for Dylan Redwine began more than a week ago. Earlier this week, divers from New Mexico helped look for the teen.
It's a needle in a haystack search. We're going off of tips, we're going off of real general information, and it's the what if.
Hundreds of volunteers came out in force to find the boy. Police, helicopters, flyers, dogs, the works. The mountains were checked, the woods, the area around Mark's home. But nothing. Everyone was helping the search.
I think somebody knows where he is. I don't know if somebody's hiding him or if somebody...
The father?
He's already done something horrible to him.
The mother of a missing Colorado teenage boy now fears foul play in the disappearance of her 13-year-old son.
Everyone except good old Mark, that is. According to Elaine and Corey, they said he was just, chilling out on the couch, having a beer, watching a footy, having a grand old time.
Well, it's been a tough time for all of us. I know. I know that it's been difficult on me, and I
gotta believe him. It has been difficult. Do you know how hard it is to clean up blood?
I can only imagine how difficult it's been for his mom and his brother and his family over in the Colorado Springs area. And, we're doing everything we can to try to find Dylan, and we want to keep the focus on finding Dylan. And, I've been working with the investigators to make sure that, all the bases are being covered on that end. And, that's pretty much where I'm at with that. I mean, I'm doing everything I know how to do.
Didn't give an F. When he's a distraught father. Maybe.
If my kid was missing, no offense, I wouldn't have time to do an interview. Because I would be looking. Like, the interview could be done by, like, my sister. Or something like that. But, I mean, she would be helping me. But it wouldn't be me that you would be hearing from. Or my imaginary wife. I mean, maybe she would be, she would, but no. Like, I would be searching. You have a better chance of getting a response from my tortoise than you would from me.
A couple of weeks in, the police announced it was now a criminal investigation. About 2 weeks after the disappearance, a runaway was ruled out due to surrounding circumstances. Lack of cell phone activity, his friends texting him to no response. Police interviewed those who knew him and the length of time that had gone by. No, this was criminal. A task force was set up, made up of 5 different agencies.
Did they say that there was any, he was sleeping on the couch? Was there any forced entry or anything like that? Or was the house unlocked? Look, I'm pretty sure the father did it, but I'm wondering if they looked for anything else.
And it began to turn from a where to a who. Mark's house was searched, his truck. Okay. And he did cooperate with the police. But more and more people were giving him The old, shifty eye. He noticed. He said it was unfair. Come on, like... Me? Come on, look at him.
There's a lot of suspicion out there. Can you address that?
Well, I can only imagine being a mother, the frustration of hearing about your son going missing. And, I can only think that has to do with lashing out and trying to find who's accountable for this in this situation. Dylan, my prayers are with you, and I love you very much. He was the light of my life, and he meant everything to me. And I just want him home, just like everybody else does.
He's clearly...
Yeah, I'm not buying those tears. Look, to be fair, everyone mourns differently. As I've said before, when my mother died, if I were interviewed 10 minutes after she died, I wasn't crying. I was in shock. You could probably see I was in shock. But, like, I wasn't crying. So does that mean I'm guilty? I cried that night. But, like, we all mourn differently. So even though to me that looks really fake, I can't judge.
You run away. Right, guys?
I want to judge. I shouldn't.
Weeks started to go by, turning to months.
He did
And
it.
Elaine told something to the police, which may or may not be of some help. And it was about Dylan. See, Dylan, he had seen something maybe he shouldn't have. Put it that way.
A spokesperson for the La Plata County Sheriff's Office tells Action 7 News a bloodhound from Albuquerque came up to the Vallecito Reservoir the other day and went out with the task force. Officials say bloodhounds can pick up a scent up to 6 weeks after an event. We're told the search covered the same ground as before, but the hound did not discover any trace of Dylan. I spoke with Dylan's mother, Elaine, last week.
You have to speculate, where he is and if he's okay and is he eating? Is he going to be home for Christmas so that we can, celebrate together?
That's crushing.
In 2011, a year before Dylan disappeared, Mark, Dylan, and Corey went on a road trip together, some bonding time for the lads. When they were at a motel, Dylan found something on his dad's laptop. Realizing this was weird, he woke up his older brother Corey and they took the laptop into the bathroom, locked the door while their father was asleep, and they had a goo. They, had a goo? A poo.
What?
They discovered pictures of their dad wearing women's underwear, diapers, and eating shit from a nappy. Not sure how much I can show you. Not sure how much you want to see.
Nope, nothing.
Did
he have a chunk in his mouth on that first one? Did this man have something from the backslide in his mouth? Did this man have the backdoor chocolate in his mouth? He did.
Wolfing it down. Literal shit. He eat that poo-poo.
And then they eat the poo-poo like ice cream.
Flashes of Russell Williams all over again. And so this apparently ruined Dylan's image of his dad.
I gotta say, this took a turn.
I can imagine it'd be hard to take him seriously. After that, and well, a year later, a couple of months before he went missing.
Hey, send me those poop pics. Oh, I just got lightheaded. Oh, hey, stop. He gave me a speech about you guys being a bad example, and I want to show him what he really is. Send me those poop. Oh, wow. Oh boy, send me some pictures of Dad digging into the liquid fondue. Oh, what a nasty, nasty thing. Look, hey, I'm not going to kink. I'm not going to, as they say on Morbid, I'm not going to, what is it? I'm not going to kick you in the fetish. If any of my subs out there, you guys love to just dig out on poop, more power to you. Not my thing. Do what you do best. Live your life.
Corey let his dad know that they both had seen the pictures, and he had taken pictures on his cell phone back at the time. Kind of, well, really anything Mark would do to the boys, give out some whatever. They kind of had a counterattack ready, you know? Try and discipline me now, bitch.
Poop pigs of Papa. Oh, boy.
The searches for young Dylan continued as winter turned to spring, to summer.
Will you take a polygraph?
I will take a polygraph.
Mark Redwine told Dr. Phil he would take the test to prove he had nothing to do with the disappearance of his son.
Here's the three questions that you should ask right off the bat. The first question is always like, I think they ask like one or two easy questions that they know you're going to answer right. Like, for me, it would be like, is your mother dead? Was your mother's name Janice? Is your mother dead? But for him, like, those are the base, right? The first real question is, did you kill your son? And do you engage in eating poop? Guilty and guilty.
Dylan. It came after some bold accusations from his ex-wife and older son.
What do you think's going on here?
I think Mark has something to do with it. I think he's either got him heading out or...
He calls him Mark, not even Dad. Oof.
You know, done something and disposed. I strongly think that he's involved.
Why?
He hasn't done a single thing since Dylan has been gone. I do believe that Mark took Dylan to punish my mom and essentially hurt her.
I'm not involved in this. No matter how it comes across, whether it be to you or anybody else, I'm not involved in this. And I have a hard time dealing with this.
That was 2 days.
With this every day.
My birthday was November 17th. That was 2 days after my birthday. After my birthday. That was the first birthday without my mother. So, that was a sad... Well, it was 2 days after. But it was still, you know...
And for months now, I got Corey and Elaine pointing their finger at me.
But when it came time for the test, Mark asked for a day delay. Then, the next morning, just when the test was getting started, Mark said he didn't feel well, an automatic disqualifier. Dr. Phil pleaded with him again hours later.
You should be doing backflips right now to take this polygraph test. You were the last person...
To be fair, polygraph test is not admissible in court. You can fail it for a variety of reasons. And even if you pass, it does not mean that he did not kill his son. So I would never, if I'm in this situation, I would never take a polygraph test. People could ask me, we want you to take a polygraph test questioning if you killed your mother. My mom died of a heart attack. I still wouldn't do it. Like, not because I know I didn't do it, but because, no.
To have seen your son before he disappeared.
Do you know where he is?
No, I don't. Boy, I just struggle with this whole thing.
In the end, Mark Redwine decided not to do it.
I don't fault him for that.
On the 27th of June 2013, 7 months after he was last seen, Dylan was finally found, or part of him, at least. The Colorado Bureau of Investigation confirmed that bones that had been found during a search in late June belonged to Dylan Redwine. They were found about 10 miles from Mark's home in a wooded area. When Mark's son from his first marriage called Mark, to let him know that Dylan had been found, apparently Mark was like, oh, he's been found, has he? Yeah. Jeez, terrible, isn't it terrible? Oh, well, sure. Shit happens. Right here, let you go. Right, So what happened to young Dylan? Well, at the time it couldn't really be determined. There was just bones left and there was no real signs of trauma. But they didn't find the head. So Mark's idea was, well, animal attack. Bears, cougars, mountain lions, whatever. They're all out there. Must have gotten him. He left the house, he went for a walk, he got ate. Or, a hunter. might have accidentally shot him on the side of the mountain, and he panicked and dumped his body. Of course, the mountain was closed in Thanksgiving 2012, so there wouldn't be any hunters there, but you never know what could happen. That was Mark's line, and he was sticking to it like a fly on shite. Well, a mark on shite. The bones were found at what was described as a typical dump site. Basically, a site that's close to a road or access point, within 50 yards anyway, and it's downhill. It was ruled to be a homicide at this time. Dylan's skull wasn't found until 2 years later, roughly 5 miles from where his bones had been located. It was from there that the authorities could try and find a cause of death, and it looked like Dylan had suffered a sharp force injury and a skull fracture above his left eye at or around the time of his death. Throughout this, there was mounting pressure of, licking his shitty chops, Mark. He failed his first polygraph, refused to take a second. His first wife, named Betsy, would speak to the police, saying Mark had told her, quote, if he ever had to get rid of a body, he would leave it in the mountains.
Anywhere I was, he was right there beside me. You know, he would come to me before he would go to his mom. And I would do anything for that boy.
Those good old pictures of Mark, they became kind of public knowledge. And Mark's response to this, you know, lads, they're photoshopped, right? Fake news. Here, come on, go on. Do I look like a guy who would eat shit? There's some jokester out there playing a prank, making it look like I enjoy doo-doo. I don't do. And remember how Mark's house was searched at the beginning of the investigation, and it was, you know, he was pretty compliant? It probably shouldn't have been. Well, they found stuff during that search. Stuff like blood. It was found in multiple locations in Mark's living room, the couch, the floor, the coffee table, the rug. Now, Mark's girlfriend at the time tried to give a cover for him, you know, saying Dylan had cut his finger a year previous, in 2011. Must have chopped the fucking thing off for there to be that much blood. The cadaver dogs picked up scents on Mark's clothing and throughout the home. Also, Mark was seen driving an ATV down the same road Dylan's remains would be found off of days before the area was due to be searched. And during this time, Elaine, Dylan's mother, she filed a wrongful death suit against Mark, but it would have to be dismissed, essentially due to a filing error. And so time went by. And it would eventually be 5 years after Dylan disappeared in August 2017 that the bug-eyed motherfucker would be arrested.
Just keep your hands up, buddy. Just keep your hands up. Watch the cab. I got the cab. Around me. Go around back. Yep. Just keep your hands up. Don't move, bud, okay? Do not move. Drop a cigarette. Yeah.
You guys can? You'll explain to me what's going on?
Yes, sir. Is your name Mark?
Are you Mark?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm the sergeant. Did you say you asked to speak with me?
Well, I was asking a few questions. First of all, I'm trying to understand what exactly is going on.
Okay.
Done anything for me, am I right?
Okay. The reason why you're in handcuffs right now is because we received a call from an agency in Colorado. What had happened is they had got information that you were potentially up here, and they said that they had a warrant for murder second for you. I'm sorry?
I have no idea what that's about.
Okay.
He was arrested in Bellingham, Washington, where he had been working as a truck driver. He was charged with second-degree murder and child abuse resulting in death.
There was never any doubt in my mind ever from day one. I knew that Mark had something to do with Dylan's disappearance and then, unfortunately, his murder. Yes. I've said that from day one.
All right, we're on the record on Mr. Redwine's case, 17 CR 343. And we are here for his initial advisement. Mark Redwine unlawfully, feloniously, knowingly, or recklessly caused injury to or permitted to be unreasonably placed in a situation that posed a threat of injury to the life or health of a child, namely Dylan Redwine, that resulted in the death of the child in violation of Section 18-6-401, 1A and 7AI of the Colorado Revised Statutes.
The trial would begin in 2021, Mark pleading not guilty. The prosecution argued that the murder of Dylan Redwine was due to the photographs he had seen, the ones of Mark eating poo and dressing in diapers and women's clothing. He maybe brought it up and Mark lost it. It was likely blunt force trauma that killed him, and then Mark decapitated him.
Oh, they're saying that Dylan brought him up to him, and that may, because I heard it for a second. Okay, so so that one text where I was laughing, send me the pictures of the poop pics of Papa. He probably used those, and Mark got just in a rage and killed him. Damn, killed him is one thing, but then to behead him?
The defense went with animal attack. You know, okay, Mark, maybe he likes to gobble down, shit. But, who doesn't in the privacy of his own home? There's nothing to be embarrassed about having doo-doo feces around your face. Let's not shame him. Nothing wrong with that. Why would he get embarrassed about that? So a bear attack, or animal attack, is what they went with. During the trial, the prosecution actually got a bear expert to explain to the jury hibernation patterns and bear attacks and all. Long story short, by late November, most bears would be, well, sawn wood, and there would be no human trash would have attracted to them regardless, so it was highly unlikely a bear, or really any other animal, would have been responsible.
Jury verdict count number 1, murder in the second degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Mark Redwine, guilty of count number 1. Be quiet, please. Murder in the second degree, signed by Mr. Parker. Jury verdict count number 2, child abuse. We, the jury, find the defendant, Mark Redwine, guilty of count 2, child abuse.
At the end of the 3-week trial, and after a day of deliberation, Mark Redwine would be found guilty of murdering his son. He will be sentenced in October 2021. He's expected to receive, a good few decades, which will amount to life for 59-year-old Mark Redwine. And so ends the enduring case of Mark and Dylan Redwine, one which lasted for years. And so Mark ended up just being a giant piece of shit, and when his son Dylan saw him chowing down on it, wolfing it down, he had to go. I still have unanswered questions though, if I may. Whose poo was it? Was it Mark? Was it his own poo? Was it somebody else's poo? Does it make it worse if it's somebody else's poo or his own poo? Was he the one wearing the diaper? Was he doing it solo? So many questions. Not sure if I want the answers. Oh well, old shit breath, he can gobble down as much as he wants now in his cell. Might be the first person I've talked about who
He's not going to be eating his own poo in prison. That man's going to be the public toilet in prison. He's going to be on all fours just going, aww. That man is going to be full every day.
will happily call a shithead. And I mean that in literally every way possible. Thank you so much for watching.
Well, this was a bunch of shit. Wow. That was pretty nasty. Yeah, so the kid just brought it up to him. He's just, yeah, he came across as somebody who just really didn't care enough. And the polygraph to me, and I've said it in other videos, look, it could be Ted Bundy, and I would be like, the polygraph is pointless. They're fighting on the couch. It's that time of the year for them. So they synced up, and now they're just near each other and just growling. Oh well, that's my dogs if you don't know. Oh well, this is interesting. I'm glad you recommended it. That was MegT with the request, brand new to the channel. Everyone welcome her, you can't hug her, Kylie, because that's money. You're close to getting banned. All right, I'm going to end this here. I think I'm going to do one more tonight because I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. I had a good day. Today was easy. I got one more Saturday to go, and then I got my weekends back. It's a good time. TC subscribe. Oh, sorry. Just reading the thing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Have a good day. Have a good night. Like and subscribe to the channel. I should have done that in the other order. Goodbye. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and whatever else I was supposed to say. I'm just going to end this here. Where's the button? Okay. Goodbye.